All right, welcome to the Common Core Geometry, where we're looking at Module 5, Lesson 13. I thought it would be good to start with the opening exercise on page 168 of the teacher's guide using the Geogebra tool. The toughest thing is setting it up, and then we should be able to answer all the parts A through H of that question. So I'm going to grab the circle tool. We'll start out with that. And I'm just going to relabel this point over here. I'll just call it S for size, so we can resize the circle. All right, and it looks like we need to put a point. So A is at the center, B is somewhere over here. I'll go ahead and click on that on the circle. And then we need an angle arc BD. So arc BD should be here. C is a diameter. All right, so we're going to go ahead and why don't we just make BC the diameter first. So I'm going to grab the line tool. I'm going to go from point B through A, and that should end on point C over there to force that to be a diameter. And in a few seconds we'll hide the rest of that line. We'll construct the things, the segments as needed. But we do want BD, arc BD, D being somewhere over here, to be 56 degrees. And I think the easiest way to do that is to create an angle of 56 degrees, which is part of why I chose the Geogebra tool. Pretty easy to do that here. I can do angle with given size. I can click on B, A, and my size needs to be 56 because if my central angle is 56, then that arc should be 56. 56, I want to measure, I think, clockwise. So let's see. Oh, all right. Oh, it even looks like it's on the circle. We don't have to trust that, but it looks like it is. So let's go with a line or a segment or a ray. Oh, I guess a line is good. So we'll go from here through that point. And I'm going to create, so let's hide some things first. We don't need this entire segment. Oh, and I don't need label B prime there showing, so I'm going to get rid of that label. That way it'll be easier when I was planning on doing an intersection here, so I'm going to grab my intersect tool. I want to intersect the circle and this line I just drew. It'll intersect in two spots, but that's okay. I care about that one. I want to call that one D. At this point over here, I can actually just completely erase. I don't need that one in this picture. Sorry, undo. I didn't mean to delete both of the points. All right, I'm just going to click on this one and call this one D. This one I don't need, and we'll hide some things in a few minutes. But we should get this arc length now to be the one we want. So let's just go with the segment tool. We'll connect some things up. We'll hide some other things. Let me do the hide first. Hide some things. I don't need this line anymore. I don't need this point at all. And let's go with the segment tool, and we'll make everything look nice. So we have BC, which is a diameter. We have BD, that arc of 56, and we'll measure that to make sure. And it looks like, what is that? Find the measure and explain. BCD, okay, we can do that. Measure angle D. C, okay, we can measure that. What about B, F, G? Let me just look and see what this problem is asking for so I can say. All right, and just to finish up the picture, I think point F, I don't think it really matters too much where point F is. So, but point F does have to be an inscribed angle for this arc. So that should be helpful for us. So let's point E. But all right, we have point F. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a point tool. I'm going to make sure it's on the circle. We'll create a couple more segments. So I'm going to create this segment between F and B and between F and D. And where these intersect over here, that looks like point G. So let's go ahead and grab that point tool, and as long as they highlight, that's the intersection. It is G, so diagram all looks good. So let's go ahead and turn on and measure a couple of things. One thing I can't do, I can't actually measure an arc. I don't have that choice. The tool doesn't do that. But I already know that this angle, this central angle here is 56 degrees. So I could kind of cheat and put it in there if I wanted to. I could just use the text tool. I can put it over here and measure of arc BD equals, and then whatever my symbol was for that, alpha. So it kind of looks like it's in there and measured up. And BC was the diameter, we know that. Okay, find our answers. Find the measure of angle BDC. BD. Oh, and I guess I was even missing a segment. Let me connect that up. Okay, so BDC, we'll go ahead and measure with the angle measure tool. I just got to click on that, measure up. See what happens if I go this way. So BDC, 90 degrees. Measure angle BCD, BCD. Okay, we can just measure that up. BC. Let's go the wrong way, so let me skip out of that a second. Let's do it the other way. DCB, 28 degrees, which makes sense. It's half of the arc. Measure angle DBC, DBC. That should complete this right triangle, but we'll go ahead and measure. BC, oops, go the other way. CBD, 62 degrees, and measure of BFG. Let's measure that angle up. BF. We'll go the other way. GFB. I get 28 degrees for that one. Measure of arc BC. BC. We should be able to measure that whole arc there, but it should also be the central angle. So 180 degrees. Measure of arc DC. Well, if we know the whole thing is 180, we could just do the calculation there. So we can take 180 less the 56. So I should get 124, and I could label that up if I wanted to with the ABC. Just use the text tool, measure DC. I should even be able to put the degrees in there. All right, then the other one is the measure of angle BGD. BGD. Okay, we can find that. Equal to 56 degrees. Well, we can just measure it. So BGD. Oh, I didn't have the tool. DGB. Nope, it's 75.51 degrees. And how do you think we could determine the angle of BGD? Well, I had just measured it, but we could, well, I know this is a straight line for 180 degrees. We know this angle we could look and figure out some triangles, or since I took the time to set it up, I can know that that's this number. So I think that completes all of opening exercise. We'll be back with another one soon.